Hello everyone, welcome back to Escape Roots Yoga. I'm Jody Scaro and today is our Thursday slowdown class. So today we will obviously be slowing down quite a bit, but mostly focusing on the hip area, kind of the external rotator area, and then into the quads a little bit. So kind of upper leg / hip focus today. So we're going to begin in a child's pose. You can bring your big toes together, knees apart, and just work your way down into your child's pose to begin your practice today. Give yourself kind of ample room, just mentally and physically here, to kind of sink into this pose. And give yourself the opportunity here to let your day kind of roll off. So if you're practicing in the afternoon or evening, this is a great time to kind of just release everything that's happened today or this week. And just give yourself the opportunity to only exist between these four corners of the mat. Begin to draw your awareness to your breath. And then when you're ready, we're going to shift our hips over to the left. So staying in a child's pose-like position, just shifting the hips over and letting the upper body stay down. So I've heard this called puddle pose before. So essentially we're just kind of trying to stretch that left hip. And when you're ready, let's move back through the middle and then take it over to the other side. Just being mindful of your knees here as you make the transition. And coming into the other side of this kind of puddle child's pose variation. And don't get too stuck on what it looks like here. Just kind of shop around for something that feels good on the hips and still feels good on the knees and the rest of the body. And go ahead and come back to the middle and just roll your way forwards into a tabletop position. From here, let's drop the belly, roll the shoulders down the spine, engage the core, lift the chest. Exhale, press the floor away here, find lots of space between the shoulder blades and really try to protract the shoulders. Inhale, drop the belly, roll the shoulders, lift the chest. Exhale, find your opposite, lifting the spinal cord up towards the ceiling, towards the sky. And then begin to walk down onto your elbows. We're going to take the right leg, extend it all the way out to the side. Press into the outer edge of the foot and then drop the belly, roll the shoulders down the spine, lift the chest. Exhale, press the floor away, finding your cat back. Noticing the inner thighs here. Inhale, drop the belly. Roll those shoulders. And then exhale, press the floor away. Go ahead and return back to the center, and we'll take the other side. So left foot goes all the way out now. And drop the belly, roll the shoulders, lift the chest. Exhale, press the floor away. 2 more like this. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Beautiful. Go ahead and come back to your tabletop position. I'm just going to let the hips fall all the way over to the left. So still try to keep those hips relatively stacked around the knees, but you might let them fall forwards a touch, kind of coming into a bit of a C curve with the upper body. So once again here, don't get too stuck on what this looks like. We're trying to shop around for a stretch in the outer edge of that left leg. And go ahead and come back through the middle, and we'll take the other side. And don't be surprised if things are a little different on this side, if they feel a little tighter or maybe a little more open on one side. We aim for symmetry, but we don't always make it there, and that's okay. As long as we're kind of trying to move with the least amount of pain. And go ahead and come back to the middle. Let's take that one more time. Sway over to the left. Pressing maybe a little deeper this time, maybe swaying a little bit more. And then take the other side. When you feel even, go ahead and come back to the middle. And we'll just take a super wide leg child's pose here. So beginning to kind of open up the hips the other way as well. And from here, we're going to crawl back and just shift your way maybe forwards on the mat. If you have a block handy here, you might like it. I don't typically do this pose with a block, but I know a lot of people do like it. So we'll take Fallen Heroes pose. So big toes will come together. Knees are going to be apart. You're going to pick your hips up and tuck your tail underneath you. So you're almost like shifting your pelvis forwards. Then we're going to work our way down onto our elbows. Although you might get enough of a stretch just on the hands here. You can come down onto the elbows. And then maybe, if you want, you can come down onto the upper back. I will not be demonstrating that, but it is an option. And then for those of you that have a block handy, a block under the back of your head can feel very nice here, or maybe under your upper back, just like this. And once again, just a reminder here to keep tucking those hips underneath you. Really trying to lengthen the space between the hip bones and the thigh. So through the hip flexor, we're trying to get nice and long, nice and flat. As with a lot of back bends here, keeping the glutes engaged can actually help improve how this pose feels for you. So if you notice that you have some sort of kind of tenseness in the backs of the legs, that's actually okay for today. One more breath here. And then begin to work your way out of this pose. Do not worry about being graceful. There is no nice way to get out. And then just shift your hips to one side. Take the legs out in front of you. And we will come into a Baddha Konasana. As you guys know, this is my favorite warm-up pose, or sequence rather. We'll interlace the hands around the big toes. Inhale here. And then exhale, sink the chest back. Find lots of space between the shoulder blades. Inhale, pull your weight forwards. Elbows press the knees out to the sides. Exhale, rock it back. Inhale, pull forwards. Exhale, rock. Inhale, forwards. Beautiful. 2 more. Take it at your own pace. And then when you're ready, we're just going to come down onto our backs. So you can move the block from behind you. And we'll take a little sequence here down on our backs. Once again, this is mainly for the hips, but we will do a little bit of stuff for the quads. So just come into a ball on your back for a moment. Take a little sinking, feeling moment here. Allow yourself to kind of mentally make it on the mat. We'll take the right leg, cross it over the left for figure 4. You can interlace the hands behind that left hamstring and find equal distance between ribs and hips on both sides. When you're ready, let's let the legs fall over to the left. Find that twisted figure 4 pose and just make sure that your knees and toes are pointed in the same direction here on the right leg. Awesome. And then if you want, instead of having that left hand reaching for right ankle, which is also an option if you like, we're going to take the left hand and just press that right knee just slightly away from you. Now, once again, make sure those toes and knees are kind of facing in the same direction. So our knees are for bending, not for twisting. So just try to ensure that there's no twist on that right leg. And then when you're ready, go ahead and release and then rock back through the center, and we'll let the legs fall over to the right. So now we have the right heel on top of that left knee, and we're kind of trying to get a little stretch in the quad, maybe even into the hip flexor on the left leg. Now this can be a little bit of a twist on the knee, like we just talked about not doing. So if you want to kind of wiggle around until you find a spot that feels okay for you, go ahead and do that. Wherever you are, try to keep the breath steady. These poses can be pretty intense. We don't stretch our quads very often. So this is really a nice opportunity to kind of get into that part of the body. Go ahead and come back to the center. And with that right leg kind of crossed over the left, we're actually just going to increase the cross. So take the right leg as far as you can over the left leg. You might use your hand to pick it up and kind of help it get there. And then take the 2 peace fingers around the big toes and just kind of try to pull the legs, pull the feet a little closer to you. Notice if you're crunching through the right side waist and see if you can lengthen that out so it matches the left. And then you'll arrive in kind of a supine gomukhasana, so supine cow's face pose on your back. Breathing here. Don't be afraid to kind of move with your pose. Maybe rocking a touch would feel good. And then go ahead and release those legs. You can draw the knees into the chest. Just notice how the legs feel for a moment. And we'll take all of that on the other sides, across the left leg, over the right. And we'll come into a figure 4 pose. See if you can tuck your chin a little bit more here, lengthening out the back of the neck. And then when you feel ready, we're going to drop the legs over to the right, finding that same kind of twisted figure 4 pose. Right hand can be on left ankle if you like that version, or if you want a little bit of something different today, you can take the right hand to that left knee and just kind of press it away from you. Once again, not twisting that right knee, so do make sure that your toes are at an angle that isn't adding any extra strain to the knee. See if you can keep kind of breathing some space into the hip, so releasing some tension. Go ahead and roll back onto your back now, and then we'll just let both the legs fall over to the left. So coming into a touch of a quad stretch here. Once again, try not to twist the knees, so feel free to kind of wiggle around until you find something that works, or I didn't say this on the other side, but maybe even using props here. So sometimes a little bit of a boost under this front heel can be helpful. If you have the flexibility in the long monkey arms like myself, you can even place your the hand under that front heel. You can place a block under the right knee. And when you're ready, let's come back onto our backs. And we're going to take this left leg, cross it as high as you can on the right, and then just reach for those big toes, coming into your Gomukhasana variation on your back. See if you can use your breath to help you soften here. And when you're ready, go ahead and release those legs. Draw your knees into your chest. Give the legs a little hug for a moment. And then step your right foot to the bottom of the right. Or, you know what I mean. We're going to Savasana. Take your legs out one at a time. Press into the back of the head. Tuck the shoulders behind the back. Big inhale through the nose. Big sigh out through the mouth. Nice work, everyone. If you have more time to take rest today, please do. If not, I'll close our time together by saying the highest in me bows to the highest in each and every one of you. Thank you for practicing with me, Jody Scarrow at Escape Roots Yoga, and I will see you on Monday for a vinyasa class. Namaste.